Hi everyone, today we're going to have a deep dive on this Lian Li 8.8-inch universal screen. Now I know this is actually out some time ago, but it's just that I wanted to feather more about the customization and how the panel works and such. So today I'm going to share with you my experience. But before I do so, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided this unit for me to share with everyone. And also to Block Soda to have done the arrangement on the delivery. Now what do you get in the package itself? Just going to move this one side. When you unbox, right, this monitor here, or should I say the screen, it's very well protected. Now let's start off with the instruction manual, a thank you card. The instruction manual is very well written. If you guys purchase this unit, right, make sure you read this and make sure you know what you're doing before you mount the mini bracket, okay, which I'll show you later. And this is for you to scan the QR code to download the L-Connect 3 application to control the LCD panel. Now as I say that this is very well protected, so when you leave this up, right, the screen, only the screen is protected by bubble wrap. So this is the first chamber. You'll move on to the second chamber where you have all the accessories, given a screwdriver for you to screw the mini mounting bracket to the panel. Two double-sided 3M tape. This is whereby if you do not use this bracket over here, which is screwed on, you can just use this panel, right, put the double-sided tape over here, okay, on both ends, and to tape this to the case, which a lot will be using on the O11 Vision, I believe, or the O11D or the O11D Mini. And besides this, you have this. Now this is an extension bracket. Now please be careful when you take it out, because there are very tiny screws. And what are these screws for? On the mini mounting bracket, as you can see, the slot over here, right, this is meant for 120mm fan slot. If you want to mount this on a 140mm fan slot, yes you can. You just attach this. As you can see, right, see there's two holes over here. So you can extend this, and to fasten this bracket, right, on both ends, so it gives you this. In fact, the holes are on four ends, 1, 2, and over here 3, 4. Not so sure if you can see, okay, which you will need to make use of the tiny screws that I mentioned to you, which are this. So this gives you the flexibility of mounting this whole frame, the slot itself, to a 140mm fan. Well done. Now besides this, there are screws which I already mounted, okay, total of 4 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which you make use of the screwdriver to screw the mount to the panel. And on top of which, right, in this package over here, no, this one, as I mentioned to you, the 4 screws that I've done mounting the mini mounting bracket is with these screws. These are the additional 2. So total there are 6. Well thought, nicely done. Besides this, they give you additional fan screws just in case. And not forgetting that this cable over here, oops, okay, let me just put this away. Now this cable over here, this is whereby one end connect to the unit, and this is to be connected to your motherboard. And for this, right, the connection point on the panel itself, there are 2, which is one at the side, one at the bottom. So it depends on where you orientate the panel. So go accordingly so that you can tuck the cables nicely. Well done. And last but not least, okay, this cable over here, the converter cable. In the event if you want to place your screen externally instead of plugging into the case, right, just outside the case in front of your desk, you can make use of this converter, whereby you connect the 9 pin over this end over here, and over here you can connect to the rear of your motherboard, which has the USB port, and this will help to project this. Now for today, right, I will bypass quite a number of things, as I want to show you in depth on how to do the customization and such, and what are the pros and cons and etc. Now as for the specification of this unit, okay, I'll just read off from the box. Okay, it's a IPS LCD panel, and it's of a size of 8.8 inch, and the refresh rate is 60 Hz with a resolution of 1920 by 480 in pixel. And as for the brightness is 500 nit, and the dimension as follow, which is 237, which is from here to here, and the width is 73 millimeter, and for the thickness, this is at 13 millimeter. Besides this, the input voltage is 3.8 watt. Alright, let's on with the illustration. Some of the illustration which I mentioned to you, I will skip majority of them, as I believe out there's really tons of review about this unit, setting and how you mount them. So I'll just briefly run through, and I'm grabbing Lian Li's official YouTube channel to show you. What you see here is directly extract from Lian Li YouTube channel, and I would like to credit them for this. As I mentioned that in this content, right, I will be focusing more on the L connectory application, on how to do the themes and the customization. Now with this say, right, I'll leave the URL and to credit to them at my top right hand corner. And yes, this video is actually extract from them, so take note on this. Now, as I've shown you the accessory package, right, this mini LCD mount is very, very flexible. And why do I say so? Basically, how you mount this to the panel or the LCD panel is with 4 screws. So let me just show you. Now, the mounting itself is not only at the center. You can move this whole mount to the left or to the right. Let me just show you. See? Or even to the right. Now, it also enables you to swivel your panel. You can tilt and such, and you can move, as in like retract or to extend. Not only this, you can move to the right, move to the left on this frame itself. Now, do take note on the frame. As you can see, right, the original frame is only till here, but there is an extension where you can plug it in. Now the tool slot over here is meant for 120 mm fan slot. If you want to do 140, right, there is a extended bar over here, which I've already shown you earlier on in my unpacking on the accessories. So you just attach this with 2 screws so that you can mount this whole frame on a 14 mm slot or fan. See, as I show you, you can tilt, swivel all around. Very flexible. Now besides this, right, there are various places to mount this panel. You can start off with the top section, okay, where the fans are. You can just mount it, or you can do it at the bottom, or you can do it at the front of the case. But of course, at the front, right, at the side, make sure you have fans, because the frame itself, right, will depend on the fan holes. So make sure you know where the fan locations are. Or you have slots that enable you to mount this panel with the frame. I'm talking about this frame. Hang on. I'm talking about this frame. Okay, this frame over here. So long you can find the slot that can be mounted at the side, or even some of the areas, not an issue. Now I forgot to mention, for the top, besides mounting on here, right, if you want to stick this to the back, right, there are 3M tape provided. You can tape that too, right at the top of the motherboard. Now, as where I stop, as mentioned, you can do the front, or you can do it externally. Mounting it to the back, the rear where you have the rear fence, you can mount this too. And you can tilt it at the angle where you can look at it. The very first thing when you connected your screen to your system and you boot up is not to hurry up install the application. First thing you need to do is to check if the connection is done properly. So I'll advise you to head down to your device manager, scroll down all the way till you see Universal Serial Bus Devices. Double click on it. Once this is expand, right, make sure that this to the 8.8 inch LED version 1 and the 8.8 inch universal screen version 1 is listed over here. So this tells me that my system is communicating with the screen. So once it's done, right, head down to Lian Li's official ARGB application website, download this. Now at the bottom you have a beta version. You can try this, as there are some of you, right, facing the problem where you got the unit and you can't do screenshot and such, and you want to set the you want to customize your template to a bigger scale and such, right, you can try to use this. But for me, right, I will not be using this since I'm using, showing you the demo. I'll just download this. And as and when, right, you can check for updates, because some of the improvement they have done, right, will be on a later version of ARGB 3. The version right now that you should be applying is version 2.0.34. You can look at the changelog, what they have done on the improvement. See? And only version 2.034 will have this function. So if you download the previous version, right, it might not work. So take note on this. Okay, now once you have downloaded the application, install it. Probably ask you to reboot, then just restart your system and launch the ARGB 3 application. And I'm just going to show you how it looks like. This is how it looks like. And for the very first time, right, it will take some time for it to recognize the screen itself. Then it will populate a sub-menu over here which says Universal Screen. So when I click on here, right, this is the interface. Now having say this, I will talk about the top section here, where you can see, right, when I highlight, it will point either lighting effects or LCD screen. If you select this, it will be the effect that is looking at the screen itself, the actual screen, right? There's a red color rim surrounding it. That is the ARGB effect. You can change as and when you want to. Okay, for example, I want to do this. Then apply. See, the rim will show you, and there are tons of effects. I will show you one by one, starting off with rainbow. This is rainbow, and I would advise you that kindly set your brightness not too bright, because having ARGB around the rim, right, it will create heat, so you wouldn't want this to heat up. I would advise you to set it at a moderate of 50% of brightness, or even better, if you can see, right, set it to 25. And every changes that you've done, right, make sure you apply. And for some of the effects, right, you can change direction. Take a look at the main screen right now. If you want to change direction, right, look at the ARGB effect. See, it's going the other direction. And of course, you can set the speed too if you want to. Alright, so all this is up to you to play. And some of the sub category, right, or should I say the effects, right, you have color set. So you can play with the color set if you want to. Okay, this is a lot. I will show you another one which is simpler. So again, whatever changes that you've selected, right now is at wave. Okay, just click on apply and you will change accordingly. See, you can even change direction if you want to. So this is wave, followed by static color, which earlier on I've already shown you. If you click on this, right, you will show the static color, and as and when you can change the color if you want to, or change something like that. Apply. Now another neat feature is that, as you can see, right, when I select the color, I use the bucket to dip. This is the finalized color that I wanted. Then you click on apply. Or you can make use of this. Instead of dipping the bucket, right, you can just select the color you want and click on the link. So this will finalize the color that you want. Then you can click on apply. See, it did apply. Alright, I'm just going to set this back for later usage. Now, besides static, right, you have breathing. So when I click on apply, you'll see that the effect will breathe. And of course, you can change color. Next, you have this rainbow moth. When I click on it, again, another effect. So there are tons of effects over here you can play with. Okay, even paint. Probably I'll show you everything. This is paint. It's too bright. See, this is paint. Then you have runaway. My favorite, in fact, is runaway. Then you have tight. You have blown up. Meteor. Again, you can set speed if you want to. If it's too fast, see, it will go slow right now. You have snooker. Mixing. Ping pong. Ping pong is kind of fun. It's like, you know, going from the left to right to the left. This is kind of fun. Okay, probably it's too bright. Now, based on my camera, that's why I need to set the brightness lower so that you can see the colors properly. You have bullet stack. See, this is bullet stack. Twinkle. Probably you can sing along. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Just kidding. Alright, river. See? Flow like a river. And you have hourglass. Next will be electric current. And the last one, rainbow wave. So these are the effects that you can done on the border of your screen. It will enhance the aesthetic look. But just remember that for ARGB, right, set your brightness not too much. I would advise to set either 25, which is a better, you know, better operation mode for the ARGB, so that your ARGB will not burn out, and also it will not generate that much heat. Okay, so take note on this. Now, to control the LCD panel, over here, right, just click on this. Earlier on I was doing this, which is the lighting effects. Right now I'm just going to do the LCD, and this is what you'll get. Starting off with the top. Now, on the extreme right, where you can see 180 degree and the brightness. Now, if you have plugged your screen in a different orientation and it doesn't show properly, right, you can rotate it. Take a look at the main screen. See, I've rotated it. Okay, I'll go back to the original so you can see properly, or you can set the brightness. See, this is bright, or you can even turn it off. By all times, again, to protect your LCD to, you know, run prolonged, right, try not to set it too high. I would say around 25 or 50 will be okay. For me, 25 would be alright. And over here you can set either to landscape mode or portrait, depend on how you mount your screen in your case. So if you click this, right, click on OK, it will switch to portrait mode. And this is portrait mode. Now, if you have not noticed, right, portrait mode have another set of template at the bottom. Okay, let me just show you again. This is landscape. See? These are the standard template. So let me just take you to portrait mode again. Now, for portrait mode, things that you... Okay, I have done this, that's why. I will explain on what's the favorite is like. So for portrait mode, right, do pardon me, I'm not going to tilt my camera just to show you. Let's say you want that template, you just highlight and apply, and you will change to the template that you wanted. And assuming that some of your templates over here you like it very much, right, you can just select on favorite, click on the heart shape, click on favorite. For example, you like this and you like this. So if you often like to see this, next time when you launch the L-Connectory application, right, instead of going through the whole list, assuming that you have a lot of collection over here, you can set this to favorite, so you can filter it out. So when you select on favorite, right, it will show those that you have, should I say, bookmark or to set to favorite. See? So it'll be easier. You can just toggle and apply instantly. You don't have to, scroll through the whole list. So this is how it works. And assuming that you do not like that favorite anymore, you can always come to the heart shape, do a click, and to click on favorite. And this heart shape will not be lit up. So leaving the rest, that means that you have removed this from your favorite list. So when I click on favorite, right, see, you only show one. So this is actually how it works. Now, besides this, right, the function that I'm going to show you next, right, is going to apply similar to portrait. It just happened that portrait, I do not, as you can see, right, change background. I do not have the portrait images or portrait videos. So I'm just going to switch this, but do take note, all this function will react the same under landscape or portrait. Now, going back to landscape. Now, as you can see, right, all this template, again, you can switch. See? Now, in the event, let's say you like this template, just the template, but not the background, you can always change the background from here. Click here, upload the image. If you have the exact resolution as 1920 by 480, which I have one over here, you can select it and to open, and it will just load instantly. See, it's on the screen right now. If you don't like it, you can revert back. By the way, all this, right, you can take the template and to revert back, even on your custom. This is actually my custom template, which I will show you how under the custom theme, how you do it. So this is actually how it works. Or you can even upload animations. So take for example, I'm going to upload this. Now it depends on your system specs, right? The loading on the compression on the MP4, right, might take a longer time. Okay, so just have to wait for that hourglass to finish, and you have the video reflected with the statistics that I like. See, but if you notice, right, take a look at the center where there's one small tiny man standing down there. He's kind of fat, it's out of proportion. So what can you do? Well, what you can do is, okay, let me just load that over here and back to L-Connectory. You can click on change background again. Instead of doing a upload animation, you can do a screen recording. So when you do a screen recording, right, this will pop up. See? This thing will pop up. Select where you want it. Okay, take note on this man over here. This is a steam figure, but on my actual screen, right, it's actually a white figure. White figure, fat. So let's say you want this portion, right, you can do the recording, but do take note when you do the recording, right, not more than 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to start recording it right now. I'll probably record about 10 seconds or so. Once you've done the recording, okay, just click on check mark. Okay, let me just close this. You can either choose to export it directly, or you want to edit. Edit meaning to say, let's say this is actually a movie, right? You want a certain time frame. You can click on edit. Then you get this. Over here, this is where you trim it. This is the start point. This is the end point. So before you want to do, you don't know where the timing is, right? You can just do a playback So assuming that you want to be down here, okay, let's say somewhere, let me see, okay, look at this flick over here. Starting point is without, and you want it to start here, okay, with the flick. So at the start point, you just point to the timestamp, alright, and at the ending, right, you can do this too. Okay, let's say ending, you want the flick to be here. So at endpoint, pull to match the playback timestamp. So once you're happy with this, right, you can import directly. Now, I wouldn't advise you to do it with the brightness. See, it's over blasting. Unless your video, right, is very dark and you want it clearer, you can set the brightness. And as for contrast, right, okay, take a look. If you want to do something funky, alright, I'm not going to do anything funky. So, okay, probably I'll do it this way. Probably it looks good. Then I import. And when you import, right, this will take a longer time as compared to upload your animations or your MP4. Reason being, right, it takes time to compress, to figure out the size and the resolution and the time frame. So let it as it is. Do not touch at this moment. Let it load. As mentioned to you, depending on your system spec, it might be fast, it might be slow. See, it's out. So right now it's loaded. So take note, right now on the human that is on display on the screen, he's no longer fat. He is at the correct proportion. Alright, so this is how it's like. Now, you can also do to images. Let's say your image is not up to the resolution as in 1920 by 480, you can always do a screen capture. But before you do a screen capture, right, make sure you have the image first, which I'm going to load this. Okay, I will do this. Okay, back to L-Connect tree. Load your image first. Next thing, do a screen capture. Again, this, this rectangular green line is. Now the thing is that this rectangular green line, right, you can't shrink it. See, you can expand, but not shrinking. So having say this, right, just align to where you want the picture to show. Let's say you want it this way. Again, on the button over here, just click on the check mark. And you ask you either to edit or to import. You can edit if you want to. And you can play with all this, the hue and such. Okay, just an illustration. See? It will change. Okay, let me just change, close the background. You can do that. And then, let's say you're happy with it, right? You can import. See, it will show on the screen. Now, having to say this, right? If you look at the stats itself, some of them is not showing very clearly. What you can do is to blur the image. So how do you actually do that? Again, I'm just going to load the image. Okay, back to L-Connect tree. Do the screen capture. Select where I want to. Okay, over here, I click on the check mark and to edit. I would advise you to do two things. One is to lower down the brightness. Okay, this will definitely can show, but if you want it more clear, right, you can do the blur effect. Set your image blur. Unless you really like it sharp, then I would advise you to just leave the blur, but to bring down your brightness, so that your statistics, right, will show instead of earlier on showing you, right, it's not clear. In fact, you look at your screen right now, it's not clear, right? So that's the problem. So right now I've actually done this, right? Take a look what happened. See, all the stats that is showing, right, is so much clearer, right? Now, next thing I will show you is the custom theme. But before I do so, right, something to talk about this is whereby I mentioned that you can, change the background and such, right? You can also revert. Now, assuming you have tons of template that you have done, okay, which is under custom theme, which I've already done over here. You don't like that theme, you can delete. Okay, there's an X mark over here. Reason being, right, as more you've collected, one way to tackle the problem is you can set it to favorite those that you wanted, and you can filter it and to show what you wanted most. But the thing is that if you keep on doing templates and such, right, it's going to take up a lot of space and take up, a lot of resources. So our advice is that things that you don't want, for example, this is my custom theme, I can delete. Now, for all the default, right, you can't. There is no X mark at the top right hand corner. So assuming this is what you don't want totally, you can just click and you'll be gone. Besides the standard themes and template which comes with this L-Connect 3 application, you can download more themes. Just click on this plus sign and click on more info. When you click on more info, you'll get this page, and they explain to you where you can get it from. As in like more themes, click on this and it will take you to the Turing Smart Screen, which is actually the Turex forum. As you can see here, right, universal screen. This is whereby people start doing the themes and they upload to this page. You can download it and to import to L-Connect 3. Take for example, as some of you might know that the case which is Lenku 207 digital, it has the LCD panel, right? So this is already done. Take a look, Lian Li 207 theme. So there are a couple. Then if you want to preview what the template looks like or how the template look like, just click on it and you will show. If you want to have a bigger picture on how the details are, you can click on download, open up the file, and it will show you, see, how the layout is like and such. And if you like this, right at the bottom you can download the zip file which contains the theme's data. Then you will need to extract it out. Once that's done, right, you can upload through this. Select the data that you have extracted out. So once that's done, right, it will show over here. So you can start using as per normal. Just click on the theme that you wanted and just apply. Next will be custom theme. This is whereby you want to create your own theme and template. Now, under this custom theme, pay attention only to these three sections, which is image or video, theme info, and modular. Starting off with the image, this is the very first thing that you should be doing, uploading an image or a animated movie or whatsoever, or video. Now to add image, videos and such, right, same function just like how you did on the template to change the background and such. Click on add and it will bring you to this menu over here. Take for example, I want to upload the image. Okay, select the image that you wanted to show on your background. Yes, I know that this is 1920 by 480. So when I click on this, see, it will appear. But when you appear on the preview, right, it doesn't show on the main screen. So you will need to click on apply. Then it will show. See, it show. So right now I'm going to do this. This is a nice theme that I've actually done. Okay, I shouldn't say it's nice theme, but I will say that it's okay, acceptable. I'll apply on this. Next thing, theme info. This is where you place the template. Okay, you can select this and add. Make sure you add, and this is the preview page. Once this is preview over here, right, click on apply, it will show on the screen. See? Or you want to change, you can select, but make sure you add and it's on the preview, click on apply. Okay, so make sure that whatever you select over here, right, as in like you add to the preview and to apply. Now you might see that, hey, how come this template is a different color? Well, under this layout, you can change the color. I will change it, that's why. So you can select the color that you want, click here, either click here or to fill the bucket. And make sure you click on update. And to be shown on the preview section, click on apply. See, it changes the colors. So this is how it works. Now, coming to the third section, modular. Oh, by the way, before I talk about modular, you can change the fonts too. By right, the default is this way. I find that it's pretty ugly, so I select to this hyperspace race. Click on update, make sure it's previewed, and click on apply. Now coming to modular, this is whereby more interesting things happen. As you can see, I've resetted all my modules. Okay, if I select on my right hand side, right, these are the modules that I plug in according to the list over here on my left. So assuming, okay, I did something wrong over here. Let me just remove this. So assuming that you want to place something over here. Let's say you want to place, let's see. Okay, I want to place this. No, maybe something else. Okay, let's say I want to place this. You want to place it over here. You just click on add. See, it will show. Now, the thing is that you can't string this size, alright? It's preset, but you can increase the size. Okay, assuming I'm doing this, right? Take a look what happened when I click on apply. See my screen with the bar that I've set it, and you can change this layout too, as in like the colors and such. Just head down to the layout, and you can select over here. Now, at the bottom there are more. So sorry that my recording limitation is there. So things like you have the GPU rate, as in like how fast it go on your GPU, the GPU load, the drive temperature, the drive usage, as in like your M.2, your SSD and such, and also the RAM load, inclusive of the pump RPM. Now for pump RPM, right, it only takes Lian Li's product. Okay, as in like the AIO. So long it has L-Connect 3 application that controls the pump, right, you will be able to pull the pump RPM. Just like for example right now, I have the Galahad 2 LCD on my left, you can see over here. So this is actually been displayed. So this does have the pump RPM, as you can see on my right. Okay, so for this selection, right, for the, hang on, where am I? Oh, so sorry, I'm lost actually. Okay, make sure you highlight to whatever you've done, right. You can change the layout and to select over here the source. So as I mentioned, right, you can pull out the pump RPM if you are using Lian Li's AIO that make use of L-Connect 3. Right. So assuming right now I'm just going to set to see the temp drive. Okay, once you have done this, right, let me change the color to red, and I click on update. See, it will show on the preview. Just click on apply. So as you can see, right, the temperature is on my screen and with the graph. Okay, look on the actual screen. I'm just going to remove this. I know it's very confusing over here. Let me just take existing one, then you will understand. Okay, as mentioned to you, right, all this module I've added, see, so long as rectangular block, you can see I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and such. Okay, take for example, I'm just going to do this. Okay, you've added this from here, and you want to change the colors and such, you can just go to the layout and change the fonts and such, and you can change the colors. Right now you can see that the graph is actually red, so I can change this to green, take for example, and to update. See, this is in green. So when I apply, right, on the main screen it will be in green. And for the fonts, right, they are additional over here. You can even type what you wanted. Okay, for example, CPU temp. Now when you type all this out, right, make sure that your source is correct. This is the CPU temperature, so I just update. Okay, probably I will set this color to white. Hopefully you can see. Click on update again, then apply. Now the wording is very small, but it's there, right? So these are things as you can see, right, the CPU temp have changed. So these are the things that you can do. Okay, let me just put processor back to where I was. Update. Click this to red. No, black. No, this is in red. Okay, I'll do something which you can see, right? Right now you can't see on the screen because it's very small. And as mentioned, right, you can only increase and not decrease. Okay, probably I just increase this size, then you can see. Now look at the wording. This is processor in white. Okay, probably I put it down here so you can see. And the graph is in black. If I were to apply, see, on the main screen you can see that the processor is in white. If you want to change that, you can set different color. It's all up to you. Okay, but just make sure that you update. See the processor right now, the wording is in yellow. I click on it. So this is actually how it works. Okay, I'm just going to bring back the original size and such. Now, having said this, right, when you toggle this, right, you wouldn't want to go misalignment. So how do you actually do that? With the second module, right, you can look at the property. This is under x-axis and y-axis. So this is actually y-axis is 25. So you go back to the first module, set this to 25. See, it aligns with your second chart. So I'm just going to stretch this. And of course, the size, you can also do the same. So take for example, the one that working, right, is 115, and beside it, this is 117. So you can go back to the module and set to 117. See? And to have more precise, instead of using the mouse to move, right, you can use your cursor. Oh, you can't. I thought you can. So sorry about this. You still have to use this to move around. So make sure you want a position, right? Just position there. Then double check on the property. I know this is 25 and this is at 117, and that's it. So it'll be there. So it aligns with your second stats. Now I'm just going to change back all these colors. Okay, back to the layout. Okay, I know the graph is in red, so I'm just going to change it in red. Update, make sure you update. See, it shows, then you apply. Then the wording are in black, which is this, in black. Update. Okay, it takes some time to fiddle with it to understand how this works. Once you've done this, right, assuming that you wanted this template is already done, save as template. Just click once, and right at the top, click on template. See, it's there. So as and when, right, when you select another template to show on the main screen, it shows. You can always select back to your template and to apply. And of course, if you like your own template, you can set it to favorite. Take for example, a few. You like this, or maybe you like this. Okay. So every time when you launch the L-Connect tree, right, you want to change your favorite theme. Instead of going through here, right, you can just set favorite. See, you will just show those that you have selected. Then you can just apply instantly. So this is actually how it works. Now, coming to the third section, additional. What does this do? Well, if your system is shut down, okay, but not unplugging the PSU, you need the standby power. You can let the screen, instead of showing the stats, right, to show you the clock, date and time when it's set. When your system is shut down. Or during operation time, you don't want to see stats. Right now you're looking at stats. You can switch this to secondary screen. Then you say you have a second monitor. And this is very useful if you place the monitor right in front of you. The screen right in front of you. Okay, as you can see right now on the screen itself, right? See, my mouse cursor is on the screen. You can click on, see, the start menu. To bring it back, okay, come back to L Connect tree, click on universal screen again, then under additional, disable this, and you will bring back to the theme. See, it shows. So this is actually how it works. Overall, I should say that this is all that what this application can do. Now I'm just going to shift on to the next step, whereby I wanted to show you this, which is this: upload material and edit. Now for this section, I will need to show you the whole page where you don't see the screen display right now, based on the fact that limitation of the screen resolution. Now if you were to click on add and to click on upload material and edit, okay, you can load the video, take for example, and this is in fact the whole video. You can just play and you will just show. So with this, say, right, as it runs, let's say you want to do a video capture, take for example, you start from here. Okay, it's pretty bright. Okay, here you can see this green rectangular, lines, right? You can just move up or move down. So where you want it, right, you can just click on record. Okay, you will start recording. The rectangular will be in red, so it's recording this section only. Then once you're okay with it, just click on the check mark and you'll ask you this. Just click on edit. It will take some time and this will come out. Again, the trim which I told you, the start point or such. If you don't want to start from here, let's say you want to go here. You want to start from here. So you just bring the start point to here. 0.4, okay. Then for the end point, right, let's say you want to end over here. So you just bring this end point to the timestamp, which is 0.10. Once you're done, right, you have import. Now, once you have import, it will take some time. As mentioned to you, it needs compression, resizing, etc., etc. Just leave it as it is. Do not touch. It's going to take some time. Yep. So once this is done, right, you will come back to here. See, I've already done this. So once this is done, right, you just click on apply. Okay, it will show you on the screen. So the screen right now is actually with your capture. Then go to the module, hit apply. See, it's actually on the screen. So this is actually how it's done when you make use of this so-called to load the material and to edit. The impression of this Lian Li 8.8 universal screen, it's a very pleasant one. In fact, it's more than pleasant, it's awesome. Reason being, right, it's so well packed. As I unpack it, this unit is being protected fully. Very nice packaging. And with detailed instructions that you will not go amiss. And not only that, the whole unit, the structure is very solid. And what I like about it is this mini mounting bracket, which is so flexible. You can just, swivel, turn and such. Okay, I'm not going to break it. And best part is that it does come with an extension bracket, which is meant for you to clip so that you can mount on 140mm fan hose. Well done. And you can just, extend, retract and such. And the things that they have done, right, on the unit itself, I would say that it's fantastic. Why do I say this? Based on the fact that they have added the rim, which is fantastically nice, the aesthetic of it, and the image is very clear. Besides this, right, those stats that are shown here, fantastic. And the accessories that they've given, right, is more than enough. They even give additional, like the fan screws, and this is meant for you to mount the mini bracket to the panel. I already used up 4, so there's additional 2 more. And also this 3M tape that comes with it, not so big and chunky. You just put this on the back of this panel and you can tape it on most O11 Vision or O11 DMI. I mean this fish tank case, right? You can just plug it at the top. Nicely done. And with this cable and such, which is nice, plus the converter, if you don't intend to plug this to your motherboard, right, you can extend it out to plug it to your rear of the USB port. Nicely done. Now, this is something which is off the hook. I will compare with my previous Turing Smart Screen, which is this. Okay, there is a big difference. First of all, as mentioned, the quality of it. For some reason, right, the screen, though is actually 8.8 inch on both, but this shows some depth. As in, like, it's bigger. I guess it's because that this is sunken in and with the border frame that shows that this unit is bigger than this. And there are some facts that I like about what Lian Li have done. As mentioned to you, all the accessories, I mean, all the accessories are nicely done, nicely protected, and with clear instruction. For this Turing, right, okay, the box is just this simple. And also with all the accessories, right, the mounting frame is just this for the Turing, which Lian Li has stepped up the game. And for the 3M tape, see the difference? Yeah, this is big, I know, but very hard to take out. That's the thing. And also this, right, is easily taken out. And not only this, the rest are the standard, which is this. Now, come to a point whereby I wish Lian Li have actually done. For Turing itself, right, for this so-called T-Rex, you have a USB Type-C, which is actually this. USB Type-C to USB-A. Else for Lian Li, right, you're only depending on this. And the conversion is, I kind of find it clumsy because of this bulky thing. Should have just added one USB Type-C so that you can just connect directly, which this cable right now I'm using, right, this is Type-C, the other end is Type-C. Though the give is this, which is Type-C to Type-A, but it doesn't matter. It's just that, you know, one strand is better than you have a split over here. But anyway, it will still function. And one thing good is that for this unit, right, it has a SD card where you can load your movies, your animated files and such, so that it's not so system hogging. It will just play directly off from the SD card to the screen itself. I guess there's some reserve of what Lian Li have done for a good purpose. Now, the final thing that I like to talk about is the customization. Yes, this is a very friendly customization kind of application, but for more advanced users, right, probably I guess Lian Li will come up with a better version. Reason being, right, for the original Turing Smart Screen, all these fonts I can resize them and go according to the it's not like one rectangular where you have restriction. You can readjust them. And also the fact there are more readings on this, because you can see this readings over here, right, you can only see the AIO pump, whereby this AIO pump RPM, right, only if you are making use of Lian Li AIO, then it will show you the pump RPM. And the next thing will be your radiator fans only. Else, over here, right, I can show my pump, okay, without any Lian Li AIO. I can show the pump, I can show the radiator fans RPM, I can show the top fan, I can show the bottom fan. See, so these are the minor stuff. One more thing I'd like to point out is that during the customization and doing the template and such, right, I can't export my theme out. Reason for this, right, imagine that if I were to upgrade my system and to change the system and such, right, I can port over to my new system. Else I can't do this on Lian Li. So whatever that I've done over here, right, it stays within that PC itself, and I can't export it, I can't import. Else for the Turing original, right, I can export and to import. So this is one minor request, which I believe that for later version, right, Lian Li will improve on it. But overall, if you ask me, would I purchase this? I say yes, based on the fact that there's so much function on this LCD panel, and this is actually a bonus point on the frame. I can just plug anywhere. Anyway, the price difference, right? In fact, this, okay, I only know in SGD, right? Singapore dollars. For this, right now, pre-order, if you guys are interested to get this, right, you can get from Cobell, which I'll leave. I have left the QR code at my top. You can pre-order them in Singapore, which costs $119. Okay, and why I say it's worth it, based on the fact that this original price cost me about $89. So with that much, you're getting a lot of stuff from here. First of all, the ARGB effect on the screen itself, which Ring doesn't have, and this solid multi bracket. I love this so much. Alright, with this said, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided this unit for me to share with everyone, and to Block Soda, we've done the arrangement on the delivery, and I hope you guys have enjoyed what I've shared with you. And for those of you actually new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Now, do me a favor, if you like my content, click on the like, so this will help my channel. With this said, thank you, goodbye, see ya.